People often associate manipulative individuals with traits like narcissism and sociopathy. However, like it or not, manipulation happens every single day. In fact, people often engage in manipulative tactics without even being aware of it. It's incredibly common. After all, people are constantly trying to get what they want, whether it's in sales, in a relationship, or amongst friends. There seems to be a spectrum of manipulation, ranging from persuasive tactics to more malicious behavior. For instance, a parent manipulating their child by telling them there are scary monsters in the street at night isn't necessarily malicious. Rather, the parent does it for their child's own safety. Sometimes, when someone is blocking you from obtaining something important, you might need to employ manipulation, but it's crucial to approach it in a positive and ethical manner. Let us dive further and explore 8 tricks to manipulate anyone. Number 1, the chameleon effect. Also known as mirroring, the chameleon effect refers to the unconscious tendency of individuals to mimic the non-verbal behaviors of those around them. This can include gestures, postures, facial expressions, accents, and even speech patterns. It's a natural thing our brains do in social situations. For example, if someone smiles at you, you might find yourself smiling back without even thinking about it. It helps create a sense of connection and makes social interactions smoother. Because of this, employing the chameleon effect will naturally make people more likely to agree with you. Number 2 is repetition bias. Repetition bias is when our brains start to believe something just because we've heard or seen it many times. It's like how a catchy jingle gets stuck in your head and suddenly you find yourself humming it all the time. Your brain gets used to things it hears often and starts thinking they must be important or true. So, the more we encounter something, the more likely we are to believe it or prefer it, even if it's not necessarily the best or most accurate information. When you are reinforcing what you want someone to believe, they will become more and more susceptible to believing you as well. Timing is important here. If you repeat yourself too much, you may come across redundant. Rather than that, look for opportunities to reinforce what you want someone to believe. Repetition will increase your credibility and allows the listener to open up to your words. Number 3 is playing on people's need to believe. Buckle in, because this one can get quite dark. Playing on people's need to believe refers to the recognition that individuals often have a deep-seated desire to believe in something, whether it's a particular idea, narrative, ideology, or even a person. This need to believe can be rooted in a variety of psychological, emotional, or social factors, including a search for meaning, a sense of security, or a desire for connection. This is exactly what cult leaders do to exploit their followers in order to control and manipulate thousands of people. Find out what people believe in, or at least want to believe in. When you orchestrate belief and portray yourself as the ones who can make their beliefs a reality, you'd be surprised at how devoted people can get. Number 4 is triangulation. Ever heard of strength in numbers? That's essentially what triangulation is. Triangulation refers to a situation where a person involves a third party in a relationship or communication to deal with tension, conflict, or to gain support. This third party could be a friend, family member, or colleague who becomes a part of the dynamics between two individuals. Triangulation can be a manipulative strategy to control or influence a situation. By bringing in a third party, you may sway opinions in your favor or gain an advantage. Number 5 is the never mind technique. This one is particularly effective at getting someone's complete attention. It builds intense curiosity, especially if the topic involves the person you're speaking to. For example, you could say something like, "Hey, listen, there was something I really wanted to ask you, and it's kind of personal. But you know what? Never mind." By doing this, you will build up curiosity to its boiling point, where the person you're speaking to is left hanging without an answer. It's exactly this technique that makes people binge-watch TV shows. They are filled with the need to know the answer. Having their attention at such a complete level means whatever it is you say next will be particularly effective, so long as you choose your words wisely. Number 6 is to mix lies with the truth. What makes someone a really good liar? Simple. They take bits and pieces of the truth and sprinkle it with lies. This makes their lie sound much more convincing because it's related to the truth. If you've ever seen the show Breaking Bad, the main character, Walter White, is quite skilled at doing this. Mixing lies with the truth helps you avoid being exposed because your lies are carefully hidden by pieces of truth. The cleverest liars add things that people will agree with to make them nod along with the lies. This technique can be so effective that you might even end up convincing yourself of your lie. Number 7 is the blame game. Picture this. You're talking openly with your partner, seeking understanding and encouragement. However, they respond by blaming you, calling you careless and irresponsible, and even adding in a bit of stupid. They say things like, "If you had listened to me, none of this would have happened, and you always mess things up." They question if you can ever do anything right. This manipulation revolves around chipping away at self-confidence. When you employ this manipulation tactic, you're reinforcing a person's lack of competence. Thus, they become more dependent on approval and validation. This is a dark yet subtle maneuver in the world of manipulation. And at number 8, we have fear and relief. This is one of the most common yet effective means of manipulation. In case you've ever met a narcissist, this is their main weapon. Creating fear is an effective strategy for influencing behavior when it involves describing the most terrifying consequences of a particular behavior. Gentler approaches are not as effective in comparison. After this fear is successfully induced, it is important to give crystal clear instructions to the person you're speaking to on how to avoid that fear. This accomplishes 2 things. First, it makes you look and sound credible, as if you're an authority that they can rely on. Second, it creates dependency. By inducing fear, while also positioning yourself as someone who can also help them alleviate the fear, you automatically advance further in the game of manipulation. Thus, your words are taken much more seriously, and you become more convincing. Unraveling the art of manipulating people involves navigating through a rich tapestry of profound emotions. Manipulation stands as a potent tool, offering insights into and influence over human behavior. In our exciting journey through life, we often navigate through many relationships, at home, work, or just chatting with people. Being good at connecting with and influencing others is like having a special skill that can open the door to lots of opportunities. Until next time, stay aware, stay empowered, and remember, knowledge is your greatest defense against the unseen forces that shape our world.